So everybody, welcome to another episode of your Women Petpreneurs podcast with your host, Mary Oquendo. My guest today is Amanda McGrath. Hey, Amanda.
Hi,
First off, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to be here. I appreciate it.
thank you. I'm very excited to be on here.
Okay, so let's always start off with, how did you get involved in the pet industry?
Well, from a very young age, I knew I wanted to work with animals. So, even like in kindergarten, my mom videotaped the entire kindergarten class and said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "I want to be a veterinarian because I love animals." Um, I quickly found out that was not the path for me. Math is not my friend. I'm good with words. I am not good with numbers. So, it actually, I showed horses growing up. So, I did a lot of horse showing. I ran barrels and did that competitively. And one of the girls that I used to show horses with, her mom was a dog groomer. Um, and I guess back a little bit. Right out of high school, I applied to be a receptionist out at a veterinary hospital, and I was hired there. And I was working at the vet hospital and had been trained to do technician work, and I was a surgery technician. And this woman who had a dog grooming business, she was going to be having surgery, and she said, "Hey," she called me up and she said, "Hey, I know you work at the vets. I'm really in a pinch. I'm going to be out for like a month. Can you come over and just like do baths and nail trims and help me out?" And I got there and I loved it. So she said, "You're actually pretty good at this. Do you want to stick around?" And I said, "Yeah, but I don't want to leave the vet." So then began working both jobs. So I worked at the vet and I worked with her. Um, I just had always been someone my whole life. I've had multiple businesses. Um, and I thought to myself as I was grooming, I'm like, man, I could do this as my own business. So I, of course, talked to her, and she was kind of downsizing. And she actually had a home-based grooming shop. It was in she had converted a garage. And I thought, boy, I could do this at home. So I talked to my husband, and he said, "I'll build you a grooming salon." And that's kind of where it started actually grooming.
So you make a couple of really good points. All right. So I am certain that that woman was looking to steal you away from the vet probably some time. All right. Because
Yes.
I've been in that position too. I'm thinking, boy, she's really good. I wonder what it would take to lure her away from her job that she's at right now. Okay. So many a times that went through my mind. There was one woman in particular. There was a very brief period of time in which my husband and I thought we would have a boarding facility. Okay. But then I started looking into it and realizing just exactly how much work goes into a boarding facility.
Mhm.
And
24/7. Mm.
oh my God. Yeah. So we quickly decided, yeah, this is probably not what we want to do. But I had a couple people in mind from my vet's office that I was going to find out what they were getting paid, and I was going to beat that. But
Yes.
anyway, I too thought I would be a vet, but that didn't work out. I'm not fond of math either.
Yeah, I love the vet industry, and I still work there to this day. I've been there 22 years in May. It'll be 23 years. So I love it. I love the medical side. Like I said, I started as a receptionist. I've done every job there except for veterinarian. And now I'm on the management team. And we actually, about 8 years ago, we did a really large expansion, and part of that was a grooming facility. So now I manage that in addition to the rest of the hospital staff.
Okay, that says a lot about where you're working, that you're there 23 years.
Yeah, it really does. It's a fantastic work environment. The owner is very open to ideas, and she is very big on learning and continuing education. And if we go to her and we're like, "Hey, let's try this," she's like, "All right, let's try it." Like it's really been a very good environment.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. All right. So you've, are you still working out of your home?
I do, yes.
I think we've had this conversation about the amount of things that you're doing.
Yes, I do still groom. I still groom here. I really am trying to kind of, as my, because I've been grooming here for about 16 years. Um, as my clients' pets pass away, I'm not taking any new ones on, and I haven't taken any new clients in general for years. So I'm just sort of just trying to ease out of it. But I do still work, at least 2 or 3 days. I'm grooming in the shop here.
All right. I'm really glad I'm retired from from grooming. I've been
Yes.
corrected on this myself many a times. I am not retired. I am simply retired from grooming. And it probably took me like 3 weeks to get over it. Um,
Yeah.
so well, I do sometimes miss some of the pets. I don't miss it.
Yes, I don't think that I would be a person that could ever actually retire. Like I really enjoy doing lots of things. Um, but the actual grooming day-to-day aspect, I think I could be done with that. Like I'm thinking that I have 8 dogs scheduled tomorrow, and I'm thinking I could be done with that today.
Yeah, it's when my shoulder stopped hurting is when I
Hmm.
is when I stopped going, yeah, you know what? This was a really good decision. Yeah, and I'm the same way. I will always have something to do, but at some point, what I'm doing will not be generating income.
Yes.
So you won't find me on a rocking chair on my porch waving to people as they drive by. Unless of course I am actually doing something else while I'm sitting there, but yeah, whatever. So yeah, I get that. Now, you talked about multiple businesses. All right,
Yes.
let's first start off with your sticker business. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, so I co-own House of Bones, and I actually do that with one of the groomers that I employ at the vet hospital, Lindsay Gilmore. And it's just a really fun kind of side gig that we have going and quickly growing into a real gig. Um, and that started because a couple years ago, I was talking to the groomers there and I said, hey, let's make some swag for here. Like our shop is called the Paw Spa at North Memorial. And I said, let's make some swag. Let's make some stickers if clients want to put them on their water bottles or whatever. And throughout the conversation, we kept coming up with all these great ideas for stickers, but I'm like, these are not client appropriate stickers. Like, I love them. I think they're hilarious, but we can't sell these things to clients. We need to sell them to groomers. And that's kind of how that started. So it's just because we are sarcastic and the things that we say to each other, as we're grooming, that probably lots of groomers say to each other sarcastically, those are the things that we make stickers for.
All right, so where can somebody find your stickers?
We have an Etsy shop. So if you search House of Bones, everything comes up on Etsy. That's the best place to get them. We do also, this was our first year coming to Hershey. So we were a vendor at Hershey this past year, 2024, which was just overwhelming. I mean, we had been to Pet Quest before and a couple smaller shows. But it was fantastic to be there. And we usually we split our booth with Kayla from Nightmare Aesthetics. Because being a sticker company, we don't need a lot of space, so we don't need a full booth. And we're selling a smaller priced item, so it's better for us to split like that. And she is just fantastic. She does all of her own artwork. I mean, she is just a wonderful individual.
Okay, so I am on Etsy right now, and there's a lot of things with bones. I need to find House of Bones, which I put in
So
this.
it's house with an A. So think of the German spelling, Hause.
Good thing you said that. H-A-U, House of Bones. And let me see if I found you. telling me to narrow down my search. We need a link. You're gonna need.
Yes, yes, I can. I mean, we have a Facebook page. It'll link you there. You can search us House of Bones. I'm surprised it's not coming right up because it's um, our logo is a Doberman.
Okay, it says handmade original art and creepy creations.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, you are easy to find on Facebook. I'm going to like your page,
Thank you.
see some of your stuff.
Yeah, so we're mostly, like I said, it's not things that you're going to want to resell to your clients. It's things that you're going to stick on your own water bottle. But we do, vet staff type things and grooming type things. So it's all stuff that is kind of,
Oh yeah, these
uh,
are definitely not for clients.
they're all PG. Like there's nothing that is offensive in general because, when we are designing something, I never want somebody to walk by and have to shield their child's eyes from our stickers. But it's just things that we get and clients would not get. There's a lot of doodle trash talking and things like that. But generally no bad words or anything bad.
Okay, so it links. So for those who are interested in her stickers, if you go to Facebook House of Bones, there is a link that goes right over to Etsy. Oh, these are some pretty cool things you have up here. All right, I got to get away from Etsy.
It's dangerous. It's very dangerous.
Oh, back in the day, it used to be Pinterest.
Yes. I
Okay.
still love Pinterest. I know that shows my age, but man, there are some good ideas on there.
Yeah, there is. But here's the problem. You go to Pinterest, you set up a page, and you go there, and the next thing you know, what you meant to spend 10 minutes uploading some
Yes.
stuff, 4 hours later, you're still on Pinterest.
Yes.
Okay.
And you haven't made anything or done anything of the things that you're looking at. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then I'm looking at my to-do list, which hasn't gotten anything now crossed off, and I've just spent 4 hours on Pinterest. And yeah, so I actually do have a Pinterest page that was verified, so it's probably still up, but I haven't added anything up there in years because I'm still like, well, maybe I should go check it just to check.
So
Yeah.
you just need a timer with your Pinterest scrolling. So set the little timer on your phone, 20 minutes, 25, whatever you want to spend. And then you just gotta be, well, okay, once the timer goes off, I'm done. It's all about the timer. You need that audio, reminder of, okay, you're done here.
Yeah, yeah. I set audio reminders for everything to record this podcast. It was like, oh, I got to go back to my office. I'll see you later. But yeah, so you did well at Hershey, which I'm going to say congratulations. I mean, yes, it is a large show, but it's an expensive show.
It is. Yes, it is definitely an expense. If it's for a vendor to go there, it's definitely an expense, but well worth it. We did really well business wise there. So
Okay, so that's one of your businesses. So we're up to like three things already. You work for a vet. You have,
hmm
you have a home-based business. You
hmm
have stickers.
hmm
Now we go forward.
Yeah, so I do some consulting work about time management and organization. So I kind of help people get more done in less time, that sort of thing.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about it because there is no way you could be running all of these things if you do not have a handle on time management.
Yeah, so honestly, it was just, I am such a geek when it comes to these things. I just love the science behind time management and why our brains work the way they do and how to maximize your day in the best way possible because it all kind of came about because I don't want to give up these things because I really enjoy doing them. So I needed to find ways that worked with having multiple things going on and keeping me completely organized and really knowing what I needed to get done to make the most use of my time. So like if I have, if my grooming dogs if they start at 9, I know I can have an hour in the shop, an hour at my desk before. What do I really physically need to get done in that amount of time? So I just started putting some systems in place and just kind of started, people would ask me, how are you doing all this? And then I would tell them, and it just kind of grew from there.
Okay. So that's and the name of your business is
Pine Lane Consulting.
okay. And how would someone get a hold of you if they needed help with time management?
So really the best place is Facebook. I have a website. You could email me from there. But you can also just shoot me a friend request, or I have both a business page, Pine Lane Consulting, or just Amanda McGrath, and just look for the headshot with the giant hair. I'm hard to miss. Um, and just, connect with me on there.
Okay. Um, Time management is so important. And for a while there, I was running a full-time mobile grooming business and a full-time education service. And without time management, I couldn't do either.
Mhm. Yes. And I think it's definitely a skill. I think a lot of people think, oh, I'm just always late. That's just how I am. I'm always, there's always chaos around me. Well, it's kind of like grooming. And I tell people that, I don't know about you, but I didn't start off being able to scissor the perfect column leg. It looked like a weed whacker the first time I very first took a pair of scissors. Maybe not weed whacker, but it wasn't great. It's something that you have to work at, and that's the same way with time management skills. It's something that usually people aren't born with. It's a skill to practice.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to say that my natural state of being is chaos.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think everybody's is, but you have to find a way to work with that.
Exactly. I'm sitting here and I literally cleaned my desk the other day. Okay. And it's not as bad as it was when I cleaned it, but there are things here that I really ought to put away.
Yes, but you probably know where all of those things are. And if you said, oh, okay, I have to work on this project, you would know where that project's file or folder or pile is. Like that's your system, and you just have to find what works for you.
I have a friend of mine who is super, super organized. Okay. I walk in her office one day and she's apologizing for the mess. And the mess was a piece of paper and a paper clip in her garbage can.
Oh,
Okay.
geez.
See, okay. And so she was consistently making fun of me for my office. All right. And then one day she goes, I can't find this. We're pet tech instructors, and she goes, I can't find my patch to sew on for my whatever. And I'm like, she goes, I bet you don't know where yours is. And I just like turn around and it's right here. It's right here. She was so mad. All right.
See, and that's because your system works for you. And I think that was always the most frustrating part with me, reading about organizing or, doing different courses or whatever. And people would say, you have to do X, Y, and Z to be organized. And I'm like, well, X, Y, and Z does not work for me.
Yep.
I can tweak it a little bit. So I think that is, when I'm working with people, that is the main thing, that you have to find something that works for you. Maybe you have 7 kids and you're homeschooling and you're running a business. Well, all of that has to be integrated together because, you can't have a calendar that does not have every single thing in it because inevitably you're going to have something scheduled in your grooming business when you have to do something with the kids or vice versa. So it has to be such a personal thing.
Yeah. I just found myself, this is not me setting up a schedule, but there's 2 association meetings that are happening on the same day at the same time, and I cannot be at both, and I need to be at both. So we're gonna have to figure that out. I might have these 2 computers going and be doing 2 meetings at the same time.
Yeah, just keep them both on mute and then, yourself on mute and then jump in where you have to.
I think that's gonna basically be the plan. So, okay. Oh, I will make it work. Well, okay, so now I got 2 meetings at the same time. Well, I just got rid of 2 meetings at the same time.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, two check marks on the list.
2 check marks on the list. This is pretty good. I think maybe we should make a habit of doing this. Okay, but anyway, so with Pine Lane, that's Pine Lane Consulting. All right,
Mhm.
so we're up to, let's see, the vet, home base, the stickers, and the consulting. That's 4. And I know you have one more thing, a program that you're getting ready to launch, correct?
Yeah, I have well, really another thing that I want to do is really work with people that want to be home-based groomers. I know that I know I've heard you say in your podcast before that's one thing that you would never do is be a home-based groomer.
Absolutely.
Um, and that makes me a little sad. I don't, maybe you just, maybe you just haven't
No,
experienced it.
no, no. Okay, so twice a year, I do a pet tech instructor training here in my office, and twice a year, for 3 days, twice a year, there are people in my house.
Hmm.
That's as much as I can take.
Well, and let's clarify. And I think this is, and I always have to clarify, when I say that I'm home-based grooming, a lot of people think that like I'm bathing these dogs in my bathtub and I'm grooming them in my dining room. This is in a completely separate salon. It just happens to be attached to my house. I know
Okay,
that's what now you're talking about, but
office is attached to my house. There is a door right there, and this goes into the spare room, and then there's another door after that. So there is a full room and two doors between the main part of my house. Okay. Let me see if you can see it for those who are on video. That's the,
oh yeah,
okay. So yes, it is totally separate. However, that's enough people in
still
my, yeah, no,
still too much for you.
still too much for me. Now, sometimes I'll come here to hide in my office from my household.
Me too.
I'm working. I'm working.
Yes. Yes. But no, I think that I truly think, and I've been trying to find stats for this, so if anybody listening can help me, I am really trying to find out statistically how many groomers are salon based, how many are mobile, and how many are home based. And and then I would put in house call separately because house call and home base are two totally different
And
animals.
and it's also different from mobile. House call and mobile
Yes.
grooming are not the same.
Yes. But I would venture to say that home-based grooming is really creeping up there on the number of people, at least compared to mobile, of how many home-based grooming salons there are in the veterinary industry. And I really think that it's such an underrepresented area of our industry. Um, and I think too that to do it properly, um, you need a lot of things in place. And I think that sadly, there are people that are not doing it properly, with zoning and insurance and regulations that if I can help anybody do it the correct way, that I am all for that.
Somebody did a workshop, and I think it was Chris Anthony, but I could be mistaken on it, on which she basically went through the options available. So, home-based, house call, mobile, salon, um, as well as the corporate options as well.
Mhm.
And she did a workshop on it that I think was informational on what your actual options are. Because there's a lot of ways to do grooming in our industry. And,
Mhm.
just like figuring out what your organization, looks like.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with house call. I mean, and I've done everything but home based. All right. So I've done house call, I've done mobile grooming, I've worked corporate. I didn't work in a private shop, but salon.
Mhm. Mhm.
And of those three, mobile was my only option. I was never going back into a shop. And I lasted like a day doing house call. And
Yeah.
oh yeah, I mean, honestly, house call groomers, you have my respect.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. I being in somebody's house and yeah, no.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. And just I mean, even over the years, like I have had really good clients that maybe they had a really big dog and it was aging, and even just to go to somebody's house just to trim nails, like
Mm.
you're crawling around on the ground. I got a headlight on because of course, you have no lighting in there. I don't know how. I mean, like you said, 100% respect to them because there's no way.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break. Hold on.
Are you ambitious and motivated, looking to pivot your career within the pet industry? Hesitant to take the first step? Unsure of how to begin? If so, the Create That Program monthly membership is tailored for you. Gain access to over 20 hours of recorded content, invaluable workbooks, and practical checklists. Additionally, benefit from a monthly group coaching call with Mary Oquendo, a two-time nominee for Barclay's Contribution to the Industry Award. Are you prepared to make a worthwhile investment in yourself for just $197 a month? Initiate your journey towards leaving a lasting mark on the pet industry by joining Create That Program. Join today at createthatprogram.com.
There we go. All right. And by the way, Amanda is actually a member of Create That Program. And just a reminder, tomorrow night is the group coaching call.
I will be there.
Okay, good.
And if
So,
anybody is on the fence about that, just a fantastic, a really a good group of just forward-thinking people in our industry. And just if you have a thought of something that you want to do, just invaluable. So if you are on the fence of making the leap, definitely do it. Highly recommend.
all right, thank you. All
Mhm.
right. So, you also have, so, and I know home-based, and I saw that you were doing some workshops. Was it at Hershey?
Yeah, I did 3 at Hershey. I did a home-based grooming one. I did a business routine one, and then I did one called Surviving as a Vet Groomer. So, um,
Yeah, and that's another option too. I mean, as far as grooming is concerned,
mhm,
working in a vet office is again, a different animal than working, you know, almost anything
mhm,
else. So,
mhm,
and I was glad to see that you put together that home base because there was nothing, there was no information on what it takes to be a home-based groomer. And there's a lot of some very well-known groomers, by the way,
mhm,
who are
mhm.
home-based, but why they haven't put together a program, I don't know.
So yeah, I'm working on a course. So I have kind of in the works both a course that somebody, if somebody was interested in doing home based, that would literally walk you through step by step. Like they're all video courses, and it would be literally what to do first. This is what you need to do step by step. If you're thinking of now, it's not going to, I've had some confusion where it's people think that I'm going to teach them how to groom, and that is certainly not the case. It is just if you are a groomer, say you're in a corporate setting or you're in a salon setting and you want to have your own home base, you already know how to groom and have some experience, that this course would walk you through step by step how to do it legally and properly.
Yeah. You know, and I understand the allure of home-based grooming because, literally I could, if my first call is at 9, I could get up at 8,
Yep.
and just, roll into my salon and that's about it. I don't have any travel or anything like that. But like I said, there's so many options for groomers. You don't have to like do everything or stay where you're not happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really think that since COVID, um, I think a lot of people enjoyed working from home. And I know people that have had, they couldn't, maybe they had just a setup in their house somewhere that they were doing their friends and their family's dogs or even just their own dogs, and they liked it. So I really think since COVID, there has been an increase in people having some interest in this.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, working at home is great. And as a retired dog groomer, working from home is great. Okay. Just that's all I'm going to say. That part I like. I like not just having people in not like having people in my space. So this is like my space and Pooh Bear space, and that's about it. So, all right. So I know you are working on another program that you're planning to launch soon.
Yeah, so in December, I have what's called the Groomer's Game Plan. And what this is essentially strategic planning for specifically the grooming industry. Again, I think this is kind of somewhere that lacks maybe on the business side, that we have some really, we have really talented people. And if they just had a little bit of guidance as far as planning and what they wanted their year to look like,
Yeah.
they'll really, really go far.
And I think that is so important to be able to have an idea of where it is you want to go instead of just winging it. Right now, I realize that my schedule is all over the place. And I mean, I wasn't working 7 days a week, and I'm only working a couple hours a day. It's still spread out over a longer period of time, which this is stupid. This is just stupid. I'm not having real time off. Okay.
Mhm.
So now I've got it down to I'm working 4 days a week, and I will get that down to 3 days a week. And that's my goal, to do that by the beginning of next year. So things have to
Good. That's
change. And you know what? And there's planning in there, because when you're used to just, doing things, now I'm more aware of, I got to schedule, instead of having like a master to-do list, I have to break it down by day. So I'm
Mhm.
doing those things on that day. And instead of like, well, I didn't get to it today, I'll do it tomorrow. No, 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 no. We do it
Mhm.
today.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really cool event. This is the first year that I'm doing it. It's 2 days, and it'll be through Facebook Live videos. So everything will be recorded in Facebook. It's a private Facebook page. But kind of the first day, because I think really to set good goals for yourself, you have to dig down and see specifically what you want. And I think, you know, it sounds kind of like woo woo, or like not logical, but like we're going to talk about having a word of the year. We're going to talk about having good vision. Like what, like, do you have a mission statement, a vision statement, like all of those things? Because when you have those things, you can say, if you sit down and say, okay, what's going to make me happy? Then we can say, okay, this is what's going to make you happy. This is how we can achieve that.
yeah, and I think that's a point, a really good point, okay, of knowing what it is you want, okay, and most importantly, why you want it, okay. On that whole mission and vision statement, okay, that if you can't tell people what it is you do, all right, then you don't have a clear definition of your career. My mission statement is really simple: creating achievable dreams one pet professional at a time. Okay. One sentence. Tell you what it is I do. If you don't have that, then you're just like this water hose and you're just spraying all over the place. Nothing is directed towards your goals.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, and this kind of came about because I've been doing this for years, for myself and for the vet hospital. So we do this for specifically the grooming department and for the entire hospital as a whole. And just money wise, I mean, we have seen huge, huge gains once we literally put these things down on paper and then made a plan, specific plan of what we're going to do each month, each week to achieve them. So now normally like grooming industry, they'll tell you like really, for an established business that 7% growth is good. um, I will tell you that our lowest year of growth when doing this plan was 14% growth, and our highest was 39% growth. So as far as a business, I mean, that is just, it just kind of, money talks, and it really is worth your time of doing something like this.
Yes. All right. Because again, if you don't know where you're going, you can't make changes.
Mhm.
How many posts do we see on Facebook? What should I be charging?
Yes.
All right. Because you haven't planned anything.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. I'm a big, anytime I do something, even if it's teaching a class at one of the Barkley shows or anything, I want to make things actionable, because when I am going to conferences or doing classes, I want to be able to take something home and be like, okay, I got this out of the class and this is what I'm going to do for it. So, in this 2-day event, like we're going to be doing, like you're going to come out with, your yearly marketing calendar and editorial calendar. We do plans for staff CE, because CE is so important. Even if you don't have staff, then what is your plan, your personal plan for CE? So all of this stuff, and just your master plan for the year. It's just, it's really cool stuff. Like I said, I just love it. I just geek out about planning and all this stuff.
So when will that be available?
So it's available now. You can sign up. It's on my website. You can, pylaneconsulting.com, and just click on Groomers Game Plan. You can sign up right there. And the event itself is the week between Christmas and New Year's. So December 29th and 30th. And it's from like noon to 5. It's not, it's going to be recorded. So if you can't make it in person, no problem. You can get all the recordings as well.
Okay. Pay attention, people. All right. Seriously, start off your business and your life. It's never too late to make significant changes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what are we up to? Hold on. Work at the vet hospital. You have your home-based grooming business. You got a sticker business. You do consulting. You have 2 programs. So we're up to 6 now, right?
Yes.
All right. So let's add, which I think is the last one, but I don't know. Okay.
Yes.
You are the treasurer of the Pet Stylist Relief Fund.
Yes. And I was a little hesitant to take on the role, only because I have so much going on, and Denise talked to me about it, but I just, it's such a fantastic thing to do. And I just really feel, I really feel that it's something that I'm supposed to be doing. So yes, I'm the treasurer. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of numbers. So I would have jumped at the chance of any other board member position. I had to hesitate slightly because it was treasurer, but I got some systems in place, so we're good.
Yeah. Any of the boards that I am on, the first words out of my mouth are, I don't care what the board position is, as long as it's not treasurer.
Yeah.
Anything but treasurer. Oh, but that's like the easiest job. I don't care.
Oh,
I don't care. Let's just say that's true. I don't
yeah.
care if it's the
Yeah.
easiest job. Okay. I don't, it's one of those things I don't want to do. And I am a huge believer of that. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. Hire
Mhm.
out. You can learn
Mhm.
how to do it, but I don't want to learn how to do it. So there's that. So
Yeah.
kudos to you, because I'm on the same board too. Again, not treasurer. That's Amanda's job. All right.
Yeah.
And we just had 2 hurricanes recently. All right.
Mhm.
It's not, just so people know, it is not limited to like hurricanes. Okay. It is any natural disaster, wildfires, earthquakes. We could run through a laundry list of things. And other things that may not, as long as it's something that is categorized by FEMA. And there are things that are categorized like FEMA, such as active shooters, civil unrest, what else? Cyber attacks. Those are all disasters. So don't think you have to have your house knocked over by a hurricane to be eligible. It is any disaster that is a recognized disaster by FEMA.
Yeah, we just happened to have the 2 hurricanes back to back, right when we were getting rolling. So
Oh, seriously. So, for those who don't know, not much you could do as a nonprofit until the IRS gives you that little piece of paper that says, hey, you're a nonprofit. We couldn't open up bank accounts. We couldn't really collect funds. But I do want to give a shout out to the ISCC, the Pet Pro Classic, because of their donation gave us the money to get the paperwork rolling on that. And that's an ongoing fundraising event. That's the Versatile Pet Stylist. And to Pet Edge, who now sponsored the second series, which is time management. Don't you have a workshop on that too?
I do, yes. Yes,
Okay.
so building business routines, yep.
So those are all workshops. There's tons of fundraising opportunities, but we couldn't do anything without that paperwork. And it literally came probably 3 days before the hurricane hit.
Yes, and then I was running to the bank to like literally like as Denise got the paperwork, she's emailing it to me and I'm printing it to take it to the bank so that we can because people wanted to donate. You know, groomers in general are such a giving group of people and people wanted to donate, but we had to have this stuff in place first.
Yeah. And I will say that because I was on the board for the Groomers Emergency Assistance Fund many, many years ago. And our industry is phenomenal. Okay. Well, you could put 10 groomers in the room and you can put what they think about anal glands, ear plucking, and let's throw in politics too on top of it, maybe some religion, and put those groomers in a room. They're all different and they'll probably kill each other. However, somebody else is in need, they will band together. And that is what I love about this industry. We have had the companies stepping up, making some nice donations to us. We've had groomers making donations. We've had groomers doing their own fundraisers to send us money. And I do want to also give a shout out to the Groomer Supply House, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to take equipment. We are not set up to take equipment and supplies. We aren't. But the Groomer Supply House is. And so anyone that's asking about donating equipment and supplies, I'm going to, send me a message. I'm going to direct you to where to send it. Because like I said, right now, we are just not set up for that.
Yeah, so it's a little bit easier to send monetary help and gift cards where somebody can go to I know Groomers Mart donated some and show season. So every time somebody is approved for application is approved, those companies are stepping up and they will be getting credits and gift cards from them to try and rebuild their supplies.
So, but you have to fill out an application. Okay. And yes, we know in some of these places, internet is a little iffy. All right. We do have some people in the area who have printed out applications and are trying to give them out. If you need an application but your internet is or you can't print things out, contact one of us. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, Amanda, where do you
Yes.
where do you see yourself in the future? Let's go 5 years. In 5 years, are you still going to have 8 things on your list? 6, 7 things on your list?
Well, that's easy because I know where I will be in 5 years because my husband can retire in 5 years. So we have very specific plans in place because when he retires, my goal is to be able to work completely on the computer. So meaning I can work from anywhere. We love to camp. So one of our things is we're going to be buying a camper and doing a lot of traveling. And while I'm not going to be retired, I'll be able to do all of these things just on the computer. So no more grooming physically here. So um, that's the goal for 5 years.
Okay, that's a really good goal. I was thinking about getting a motor home type thing and being able to travel and maybe teach, and decided I didn't want to I like sitting here in my office at my computer. This is really, really awesome. But one of the nicest things about what we do, as long as we have an internet connection, we're good.
Yes. And we're not people like we're not going to live in our camper. Like I know some people, that's their thing. Like this is always going to be home base for us. We just want to take multiple, like every couple months we're going to be going on a trip with the camper. So that way I'll be able to work from, like you said, wherever there's internet.
Yeah, so my husband is so anti-camping. And I grew up camping, so I get it. I get the pros and the cons of it. And my husband's a city boy.
Oh,
Yeah, so he would get a camper to park in the parking lot of a hotel.
he'd never leave the camper. Like if you were camping, he would never leave the camp. It would be like his own little private sanctuary.
Yeah. So, that's okay. Maybe getting a smaller vehicle that's comfortable to travel in with the dogs and stuff. But yeah, we're not going to be pulling into a camping spot and hooking up. That's so not on his to-do list. So, all right. So 5 years, that's good. And where do you see yourself further? What's the legacy you want to leave for this industry? That's a new question. I'm springing that up.
So, I guess legacy, I want people to, I guess the very first time that I went to a Barkley show, which was Hershey, um, so totally overwhelming, someone that works by themselves. I'd been grooming for a year or two and found out about Hershey and was so excited to go. And it was really, and this was just my own personal thing. I felt like I couldn't tell people that I had a home-based grooming shop. I felt like, oh, people are going to look down on me. They're not going to think that it's a real business. So if I could change one thing, it would be to have people not feel that way. Have people feel that they are a legit business and they can contribute to the industry still while being home-based.
Okay. I think that's good. I think that's a goal. And I think everybody who does something a little bit different and the newest, and here's another option too, that which is like probably a couple of years in, is traveling. So I
Yes.
personally know of two groomers who travel. They have a motor home. Well, one has a motor home and she travels all over the place. That's Tori Thomas.
Yeah. Mhm.
Also has a sticker company.
Yes. The extraterrestrial. Yeah, she's got cool stuff.
And then there's Meg traveling groomer, and the same thing. Chris. Well, right now she's based, I think, in Wisconsin temporarily. Okay, but they travel the country, and sometimes when shops are a little short-handed, somebody coming in can fill in a temporary spot, but not have any real roots to the area. So that's
Yeah.
another option. I think there's a workshop in here. At least these are your options. These
Yeah.
are your options. Ask me next year. I think I need to write that down. Okay. And then there's franchising. Oh my God. No, we're going off on a tangent. We're going off on a tangent. That's gonna be a workshop. I'm not gonna say anymore on it. Okay. Um, okay. So if you have words of wisdom for your fellow pet professionals, what are they?
So my words of wisdom is my own personal motto, and it is that you can always make more money, but you can never make more time. So I use this, and if anybody has ever come to my time management or any of my classes, I talk about this often because I truly think that we need to value the time that we have. Um, I was in a car accident multiple years ago, and a guy ran a red light and I mean slammed us. Like it was really, really bad. And we walked away no problem. But the police officer told me, he said, if you would have been 3 seconds later at that intersection, you would have died, no question. No question, nothing. So, like, you never know literally when your time is up. So, just take the time to do things that you enjoy, spend time with your family. Like, if you hate doing something, find a way to not do it. Like, to your point, if you hate doing something, pay someone to do it or don't do it. But really, time is so valuable and just spend it with the people that you love.
Awesome. All right, Amanda, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, so everybody join us in 2 weeks when I interview somebody else making a difference in the pet industry.